If I could have your attention, please. Hello. Hello, Jerry. Nice to see you again. First of all, because it seemed to crop up a bit yesterday, I should mention there is some stuff in the room at the back. There's quite a lot of free fanzines. There's going to be a lot more free fanzines, so please do go and have a look at that, and please do take some of the way so that we don't have to. There's also, just to remind people, there is a card in the back room for John Harvey, who can't be with us this weekend, so please do sign the card for John. But anyway, to turn our attention, rather than obsessing too much with the room at the back, we're going to talk about the front. Sorry, yes, at the back. But no, now we are going to focus more on the room at the front, just for a bit of novelty. And so today we're going to be talking about Seacon 79, the 1979 Worldcon in Brighton. I gather we actually have, well, I know we have several committee members in the room. Several of you were there. And obviously you all have your own memories about what took place, but we are very, very fortunate today to be joined by none less than Britain's greatest living fan historian, Rob Hansen, who is only, and for those who don't know, Rob is only going to be with us today. So, you know, for your British fan historical questions, make sure you get them to Rob today. So Rob's going to take us through a series of slides. I should say we slightly panicked Noel Collier earlier. I said, it came with this envelope. I said, I've got Rob's slides here. Because Noel knows that Rob's a bit old. He actually thought quite literally with books. Whereas it was flash drive of photos. But so Rob's going to take us through some photos of Seacon 79. And this is very much an audience participation session because whilst Rob is Britain's greatest living fan historian, he also forgets an awful lot of things. So please do feel free to prompt Rob. Can we also ask, though, that there's going to be a roving mic over there in Tommy's hand. So we're going to get the microphone to you because there might be people watching online. We're going to post a video later. And whilst you may think the people in the room can hear you, and maybe they can, the people online won't be able to hear you. So if you can wait for the mic to come to you. Other than that, I'm going to turn you over to Britain's greatest living fan historian, Rob Hansen. Thank you.
Right, as Mark said, this is basically audience participation as much as anything else, because when I mentioned to Mark that I had a shitload of photographs from this convention, because thanks mainly to Peter Weston, who went around collecting and scanning the photographs of all manner of old people. So we've got basically the two conventions I have the most photographs are of, weirdly enough, the 57 Worldcon and this one. So we're going to go through them, and it's a kind of reminiscence thing. So you guys all reminisce, and we'll say, oh, that was so-and-so, this was so-and-so. You can identify people and go, oh, wasn't he thinner then? He had hair then, etc., etc. So to begin with, this is the convention logo as drawn by the great Harry Bell. I don't want to know about his sex life. So this apparently is a lion. I always thought it was a dragon. It was only when someone said afterwards a lion. I think, oh, of course it is. It's bound to be, you know, Britain in 79. So anyway, this was the logo on all manner of stuff like T-shirts and the kind of all the literature, etc. And it was also a huge banner. It was upsized by Sue Williams, and the banner itself was something like 30 foot by 20 foot. So it was a bloody big banner. So right, what's that, Kev? Yeah. She ran away because it left. Dear. What? Not bad. Damn right. Comment on this. Peter Weston said, The opening ceremony had been my baby, something I fought for at committee meetings, something I was determined to do properly. My belief was that so many conventions fail because they never get properly started. They just sort of creep into life when no one is looking, and they never develop a head of steam. The rest of the committee were very unenthusiastic. They could see problems. And what exactly did I propose? Music, I suggested. At DISCON, I've been very impressed by the colour and spectacle of the Alexandra Pipe Band, which Dick Eaney had arranged to march through the con one evening, though I never found out exactly why. And a bit of comedy would be good. What if I got hold of a fake machine gun and pretended to mow down the rest of the committee? They looked unimpressed. All right, I said. What if they were to mow down me? They brightened somewhat at this, but still said no. In the end, Kev Williams came to the rescue. He and his wife Sue had already agreed to paint our backdrop for the main hall, a huge thing that would stretch across the width of the room and would necessarily drop through 2 floor levels. It must have measured something like 30 foot by 20 foot. And it's Harry Bell's Fannis Lion symbol. Right, next picture. Oh, it's there. Okay, this is the main convention hall, and the way the thing started was that they projected. You can see the screen. You can see the screen behind the banner. That was there first of all, without the banner. And the way it started off was it was the music from, I'm assured by Kevin, Rocky, that started up, and they projected the various logos, etc., of the various conventions. And then at the crescendo, this banner opened up and unfurled in front of the crowd. And I recall a great cheer growing up, although Kevin's about to. Yeah. Yeah, keep the microphone until you give it back. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an edited highlights of the Rocky, and you know the way it goes da, 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 and it comes to a crescendo.
Right.
And we had a team of gophers on either side of the room, and couple below on the stage pulling it down as the crescendo came to the top. But before it happened, we were playing music in the hall, and we were playing Layla, I think, and Hotel California, and all of a sudden everything went silent. And we sent one of the gophers down, and the guys from Samuelson who put in all the sound equipment said something's gone wrong, and one of our continental neighbors had pulled the plugs out. He didn't like the music, and so the slow hand clapping was starting because they were all waiting in the dark, and then we got music going again and played the Rocky theme and rolled all of that, and then when Brian Aldiss came up with his opening speech, he said, "I've never been introduced with the Ruritanian national anthem before."
It was a fantastic opening, though. It really did set things off. So he was right about that, Peter Wester. This picture also shows something of the geography, which is kind of interesting, in that the fan room was kind of off to this side here, and it was at that level. So therefore, we could kind of amble out from the fan room and kind of gaze over the barrier at any program item we wanted all the way through. So it was a really cool way of doing that. Right. The other thing is we had a Caledonian pipe band come through. Originally, Peter wanted something grander than that, but it turned out it would have cost a fortune. So it never happened, but that's what we got. Next one. I think we got a few pictures of the pipe band. Yeah, pipe band, pipe band. And that's, oh, there's Mr. Weston opening the convention. Pipe band, pipe band. Who have we got here? Let's see. There's Brian Aldiss, Peter, Harry Bell, and Fritz Lieber or Leiber. I can't remember which way you pronounce it. Leiber. So that was yeah. This is the opening. So, next. Right, now, Peter wanted dancing girls. And so they just, somehow or other, it ended up being women in Victorian bathing costumes. So
Brighton bathing bells, and one of them is Coral Jackson.
Right. Was she actually Coral Jackson then, or was she still Coral Clark? Oh, right, okay. Which one is she? I can't, oh, anyway. The yellow one, okay. So yes. Okay, on you go. Once upon a time, maybe, not anymore. And again, next. And then obviously they made their way up on the stage too. Now, I recognize the woman on the far left, but I can't remember what her name is. Judy Mortimer, is that right? Yeah, oh, Roy confirmed. And then Weston, Lieber, Aldous, and again, Coral on the far right. So yeah, Judy Mortimer. Good Lord, there's a name from the past. Okay, same again. Opening. Oh, I'm Bob Shaw this time. And again. No, Joe Haldeman and Mike Blixen. I don't know who that is between them. Anybody? Again, sexual orientation, don't it? Yes, it could be Gay Haldeman, yeah. Yep, back up. Yep. Yep. Okay. On. Peter Weston, and that gives you a real sense of the size of this band. It was bloody enormous. Yep. All this more pipe band. Yeah, I think that might even be just a black and white version of the earlier one. And again, yeah, more pipe band. Yep. Index. Okay, is that the art? So that's the opening ceremony. I've divided this into obviously subsections. So the next one. Right, we're on the pros now. So Powell Anderson, yeah. 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 With glasses, really? Okay, if you say so. Now we've got Larry Niven and Jerry Purnell. Maybe you recognize anybody else or not? Yeah. That was one of the things that came up when I was researching book rooms was when was the first book room? It was actually 1971, which is a lot later than you think. Prior to that, it was Ken Slater coming along with a suitcase full of books at conventions. So yeah, I think that was the first. When was the last? Because they don't do them anymore, do they? But yeah, that's just definitely Chris Priest, yeah. Charles Platt. And Platty again. Ron Bennett with some very valuable comments. Yep. And Mr. Bennett again. I have no idea who that is. I'm not even sure what they're looking at. Yeah. Anonymous person looks at rocks. No, yes. Although this section is called Book Room, there are also pictures in it of the art show and what have you. That's Niven and Purnell again. I think that's the art show. Yeah, it looks like photograph board as opposed to an art show. I didn't remember that we'd done that. That's actually Battlestar Galactica, one of their craft. I think this may be one of the first cons where we started having a big deal of, well, in this country certainly, from the film and TV people. Star Wars, is it? Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, Gary Kurtz was. Well, Lucas
yeah, I know.
didn't.
Oh, yeah,
Gary Kurtz was.
Oh, yeah, you see Kurtz in a minute. He shows up in these as well. Art show. Next. And again. Oh, that's the last one in that, yeah. So, next one. Pros, okay. Ryan and Ivan. Who is that? Anybody know who the woman is? I think she's an SF writer, but I don't remember.
It's Brian Aldiss' wife, Margaret.
Okay, not an SF writer. It's Lober. Tom Baker. Tom Baker, Doctor Who. Norman's. Yep.
Oh man, that's good.
Good shot of him, yeah. Next, Norman Spinrad, and I have no idea. Okay, next. Peter Nichols. Harry Harrison. Sorry? That's Harry. Yeah. That's Robert Silverberg. Don Wellheim, yeah. Famous cross-dresser, we know. Tom Dish. You did. Yep. Ian Watson. I still think of him as looking like that, which of course he doesn't anymore. That's because I haven't actually seen him in years. It's gone, isn't it? Oh no. Oh, okay. The last picture I saw of him was on the cover of Watter's Wisdom, and he's got no moustache there. Judy Blish. Right. You should be able to name all of these going on. Let's see. That's Peter, Arthur C. Clarke, Eileen Weston, and
Tim Stewart.
Tim Stewart. Yeah, he was Tim something. Yeah. Stannard, right.
Corrected, Tim Stannard.
Tim Stannard, right. Right. That's Ellsberg de Camp with admirers, as far as I can tell. Anybody recognize any of the admirers? Sturgeon, sorry. Sturgeon. Ah, good Lord. Oh, bugger off. Yes, Sturgeon, definitely. Next. That's Alfred Bester. Yeah. Purnell again. And Powell Anderson. No, that's Bob Shaw. Bob Shaw between it, yeah. What? That's because we're old. We're old. Yeah. I don't know who they are. Anybody? No, not high enough res. Next. Aldous again. Opening ceremony. That's John Da Vinci, is it?
Joan Vinge.
Vinge. Vinge, yeah. Next. Fred. Fred Paul. I have no idea who that is. Actually, I think that might be the woman who was the belly dancer, whose name I've forgotten. Yeah, she'll come up later as well.
At the Gopher party.
Yeah. And there we are again. That's the opening ceremony. Ah, Bob Shaw. And Mike. Back again. Mike Lixon and Bob Shaw. Ah, is that Bob reading out an award or something? Looks like he's holding an award of some sort. Next. Whoa. Now, who were they? Quick. Back. Back. Oh, there we are. Right. Next. Yeah. Okay. Forward. Brian again. Forward. Peter. That's what's his name? Oh, I can remember his Bertram Chandler. That's Bertram Chandler, yeah. Yes, indeed. Ramsey Campbell's father-in-law. That's Anne McCaffrey and various individuals. Back one. No, it was just him again. So Anne McCaffrey and fans. Barry Purnell. Arthur C. Clarke and who knows? Red Pole. No, they had these weird hats there. They were wearing these Seaside Kiss Me Quick hats for a while. I can't remember why. I'm looking at these pictures thinking, why the hell are they wearing those hats? Yep. Next. And there's Purnell in one of those silly hats. And I'm not sure who that is. Oh, it's Paul Anderson again. Okay, that was an odd angle. No idea. Yeah. It's not high enough res. You're not going to, yeah, scanning. No idea. Jack Choker and Joe Haldeman. Yeah. Is that Joan Gay? Okay. Right. Wow. John Brunner. Slater, Pole, and I don't know who the other person is. Anybody? No, that's not Brian Aldis. No, oh well. Again, zoom in the panel. Let's see who that was. That was Fred Pole. Is that possible? Is that Moskowitz? And the other two, I don't know. Maxim Jabberwocky, you used to call him. Yeah. Right. Next. No, Jack Chalker, Haldeman, Silverberg, Ben Bover, and Spinrad. And again, that's Clark on the end, but other than that, it's the same three people scanning across. Now you've got Jack, what's his name at the end there? Williamson, that's it, Jack Williamson, yeah. Don't know who that is. Terry Kerr, Sturgeon, and Bester. Who is that? Anybody idea? Any idea? No. Famous enough to be on a panel with those guys, but who knows?
Look in the program and find something.
If you want to be like, I brought that along so it would be easy to look. No, there's too many threads. Okay, next. And then again, unknown. Unknown guy, Terry, Sturgeon, Bester. Yep. Next. Who are these? You can zoom in a bit. That's Chandler, and I don't know who the women are.
And McCaffrey in the middle, isn't it?
Is that Anne McCaffrey? Okay, yeah, Anne McCaffrey. Yeah, okay. It's a bit difficult when their faces are obscured by a microphone. No, these look like a lot younger than that then. Yep, next. No, that's Gary Kurtz. I don't know who the other guy is. Gary Kurtz is the guy with the Amish beard. You can.
We've got the 25-minute question and answer period with Gary Kurtz, Greg Lippincott, and Mark Hamill after the Star Wars. The Star Wars Q&A is utterly fascinating. I'm doing this another.
I think you're loud enough, Jerry. So okay, right, but it's not for people. Oh no, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So on the Fan History YouTube channel, we have the 25-minute Q&A session that followed the slideshow that Star Wars did in 1976 before the movie came out. And it is a fascinating thing because you look at it and it's before the world changed. So they're talking about how there's no business for the animators or anything, and how this whole field is dying and the special effects people can't get any jobs. And the whole thing is you're just looking back in history before everything changed. It's great.
Yeah, because they had obviously nobody had no idea how big this was going to be. They came to the Worldcon that year just to try and kind of hype this thing up, probably get some interest in it. As well, Marvel, for some reason or other, got the rights to do a comic book adaptation before it came out. So they did the comic book adaptation, and Howard Chaykin drew the artwork. And because it became the film became so famous, it's been reprinted any number of times. And Howard Chaykin has been quoted as saying, "If I knew this was the art of mine that would be reprinted so much, I would have done a much better job." So Fritz Leiber. Again, Leiber and woman we don't know. And the next. Just zooming in, yeah. Again, zoom out. No, who we got? Jerry Webb, Arthur C. Clarke, and Paul Anderson. Yeah. It's weird seeing Jerry Webb so young, given that I actually know him quite well these days, and obviously he's late 70s now, so he doesn't look anything like that. His 80s? Oh, blimey. Okay, so we've got again Clarke, Powell, Jerry Webb, That's what's his name? One of the Benford twins, yeah. And yeah, Greg Benford, and I don't know who that is again. Right. We had a hell of a lot of pros at this con. Amazing. Next again, Jerry. Oh, sorry. Jerry Benford and whoever that guy is. I feel like I should know who that is. Is that yeah, that's just yeah, Hal Clement. Hal Clement, yeah, that's right. Yep. Okay. Harry Stubbs. Yeah, Harry Stubbs, yeah. Next. Anne McCaffrey. That's Bertram Chandler. And again, don't know who that woman is. Could be. Harry Harrison.
A lot.
Yeah. Okay, Harry Harrison, don't know. Gary Kurtz and Ackerman. Who is the don't know? Anybody? Yeah, no idea. Again, Anne and whoever that other woman is. Yep. Okay. Jack Williamson and don't know who that is. No. And take her, obviously. It's all right. Right. Okay, next one. Right, again. Over, Alderman, Spinrad and Clark. Ah, no, different faces. Again, who? Is that looks like Vincent Price? That can't be. I don't think we had Vincent Price there, did we? Right. Okay, next. Right, I don't think that was Tom Shippey, though. That was Harry Harrison, yeah. Okay, forward again. That's just the pavilion at Brighton. That's what, in the pavilion they held their Georgette Hare ball, which I don't really understand that, but that's what they did. So that was a thing for a while. Yeah. Yeah. In the middle, that's Eddie Jones. And I don't recognize anybody in costume.
Wasn't this the Jacqueline Lichtenberg mob?
Possibly. Okay, next. Silverberg. No. Don't know what this panel is, but there's Rog Payton there, and they're being filmed for something. But that doesn't look like a professional rig for the BBC, so I don't know what that was. I think that's all I recognize in terms of people there. Next. That's Jack Chalker. I think, yeah, Jack Chalker auctioning stuff off. Yeah. Okay, go back. That's Rog Payton there with his hand up. Possibly. Yeah, in the background, just behind Pete, just behind Rog. Yep. Possibly.
Brian
Yeah.
Amermgan.
I feel like I should know where the guy up there in the blue t-shirt is, but I don't. Yeah. Okay, next. Again, Jack Chalker auction. No. Jack Chalker auctioning, and if you blow up, we can see the people in the background. Is that Susan Wood or not? Okay.
Thames Television were there filming, but I don't think they filmed the auction. So
right,
unless it's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Go back, not back, but just scan back across again. That's Arthur Cruttendon, I think, holding up stuff. Yeah. And he's wearing that cap he always used to wear. Yeah, that as well. Yep. Next. Your guess is as good as mine. Is that Harry Stubbs again or not? Oh, then it probably isn't. He was never in St. Anthony, was he? Okay, next. Ah, no. Chris Priest and the Hitchhiker's Guide. I've suddenly forgotten his name. Douglas Adams, yeah. Right. I don't know why they were on a panel together, but there you go. Yeah, that's just random audience. Next. Again, the silly hats, this time with Arthur C. Clarke with one on. Yeah, and in fact, Purnell's still got on, looking at the rough, he's still got some of his Georgette hair gear on. So the silly hats came later. Okay, Paul Anderson and random fans. Silverberg and anybody, any idea? No. Okay, next. So Clark and Niven, yeah. Caffrey. Not sure what's going on there, but the woman on the far left is Kate Solomon. Could be. Okay, next. Ah, no. Malcolm Edwards finally shows up in the background. And then Jerry and Benford and Harry Stubbs. Silverberg again, looking saturnine. Christopher Reeve with adoring fan. Mr. Kettle. Yes.
Roy and I went away from that signing session with
Yeah.
very valuable copies of the Superman brochure signed by Christopher Reeve. I sold mine years later for a lot of money.
Oh, right. I'm not
So did you?
surprised.
Only one of them. I did sell.
Only one of them. How many did you have? All right. Okay, next. And again. No, I mean, yeah. There's Roy fawning over Superman again.
Christopher Reeve was delightful. I mean, there were a lot of people trying to pushing and shoving, and he stood up and he said, "Hey, calm down, everybody. I'll sign all of your stuff." He was a real gentleman.
Yeah, no, I'd always
guy.
heard that about him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was okay. My assistant here is looking through the program I brought along with me. Okay, next. Mr. Clark again. Next. Ah, right. I don't think I would recognize her. No, yes, this file is fans, so therefore you will recognize more people. Filthy Pierre. And with the filthophone, yeah.
In the operations room, one of the security guys came to us. They were all retired ex-police London policemen, with big feet. And one of them came to us and said, somebody has chained a suspicious-looking box to the grand piano in the main stage. And I think you were there, Roy. And Roy said, "Oh, that's Filthy Pierre." It's all right. It's not a bomb. But of course, that was the weekend that the IRA blew up Mountbatten.
Yes, it was. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next. Graham Charnock, John Harvey, and Unknown.
Is that Carl Sagan?
That seems very unlikely. I don't recall Carl Sagan being there. Yeah, well, when they were, I'm going to say when they had hair, but they kind of were receding even then, weren't they? Yeah. Next, Jim Barker. Bruce Pells. Roy posing rather strangely. Alan Harries, and I don't know who the others are.
John Stewart
Oh, John Stewart.
is the back. He was our he was the treasurer. Yeah.
Yes, I'm very tall. Next.
That was
Peter
two, I
Roberts
think,
and Kaz Skelton. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. I think that's true of most of us with clothes from that era, but yeah. Next. Yeah. Right. Peter Roberts, Mike Meara, Pat Meara. Yes. With very unusually beer in their hands. Next. Oh, right. So it is, yeah. That'll be in the book. Ah, no. Yes. Kevin, Harry, Sue, and Kev Smith. When they were oh so young. Right. Right. No. That's Phil Folio on the end, is it?
No,
Phil
no.
Folio, Coral,
Is-
Robert,
Yeah, that's Phil
Stu,
Folio,
John.
Coral Jackson, that is, me. That's Sue Williams in the front, John Stewart in the back, and Roy.
And Roy again, yes. Yep. Yeah. Mike Glickson was always convinced that during this period, Roy bore a strong resemblance to John Lennon. So, next. The same people being silly.
Quite sure. Can you
Yeah.
go back to the previous one?
Oh, it's Dermot. Yeah, you're right.
But Dermot Dobson in the blue jacket with the sort of.
Yes,
Harry,
I
that
think
was the picture I was telling you about earlier. It's a bottle of vodka, I think, or I don't know where we got them, a bottle of brandy and a bottle of vodka. But we were enjoying a joke, somewhat inebriated, I think.
more than a joke by the look of it.
Have you got the one with Cass in it as well? Because that's funny too.
Oh yeah, but yeah, she asked me about that before we even started. She said, "Do you have that photograph?" I said, "Yes, we do. We will get it." Okay, next. Ah, Peter, the Missus, and Tim Stannard again. God, they look so young. Ian Mull. Ah, the Pardos, yes. One of two. Sadly, one of two British fans we lost to COVID. Next, Peter Roberts again. Yeah. Yes, Orange Mike came along later, and I remember thinking, well, Peter Weston was doing this before that, but then he was doing it as an impression of a carrot. So yeah. Next. Oh yes, Brian Burgess. Why? Why? Zoom in on what? Oh, no. One of our stately old fans, yes.
Does he?
Ah, Brian and Terry. Oh, Brian Parker and Terry. I don't remember his surname. Terry? Brian? Clifton. Somebody just said Wogan. I thought that can't be right. But yes, it was. Yeah. Next. John Brosnan. The great Brosnan. Next. Now, nobody under the age of 60 should shout out here, but oh, who do you think that is? On the left. Yeah, that's me and Kaz. That's what I used to look like back in the day. So yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. What happened? Yeah. Next. Oh, we've seen that one. Yeah. Daryl Pardo. Ah, no, that's obviously Tucker, but who's the other guy? Bob Tucker and somebody. Yeah. Next. Ah. Mike and Bob. Bob wasn't that much. I know Mike was short, but I didn't think Bob was that much taller than him. Yeah. Oh, was he? Oh, okay. Next. Uh-huh. Celebrating it. Pardon? I love the expressions on their faces here. This is just it tells a story, I think. Yes. Oh, yes. Again, I didn't think I was that tall. Harry, Kaz, and me. Yeah. I'm not, I've never been that tall. I look like a bloody giant there. Yeah. I must have been standing on box shit. Jim Barker. Joyce Scrivener. No. Yes, Kate Solomon. That it's interesting that that's like she felt comfortable enough back then to do that at the convention, whereas these days, forget it. There's so many creeps at cons these days that would just be not even on the menu. There she is again. Oh, yes, by the way. Yeah, exactly. I should have said this is actually specifically a cover of a particular book. And I think the Sphere version of Nightwings, yeah. And what's the name of the character in the book? I can't remember. But anyway, she is depicting a specific character from a specific Silverberg book based on a specific cover. So fair enough. Yeah, actually, so I go back to the previous picture, and again, back, back, back. That one is one that I took at the con, and when I put it online some years ago, I actually contacted Kate. I said, "Look, are you okay when we put this online? Because, I mean, and she was okay with it. But it's interesting that people, when I then checked, lots of people have put up photographs anyway that they never asked us. So there you go.
The other thing that I remember about that is that Coral and I were helping run the fancy dress, and I remember that Coral's had to do a lot to support Kate because those wings were bloody heavy.
Yeah, keep going, and you'll see that. Look,
yes, yeah,
they're bloody enormous. And look how far back they go. And indeed, she did. It's like a wedding dress with a train, and you've got all manner of people holding it. That's like her train behind there. They were absolutely enormous wings. Yeah.
There's a scene in the Thames TV Time Out of Mind video of the con where Rob Jackson is standing alongside Ian Williams, and Rob said, "What did you say, Rob? With the lady with the 30-foot wings, please move to the left." And of course, Thames TV filmed it from behind, so you could only see her back.
It didn't quite work that way. Yeah. Ken Slater. Zoom up again. That's obviously Roy and Peter. And there we go, Mr. June. So yeah. Holstock, Priest, Shaw, and is that John Harvey? I can't quite tell. Yeah, I think that's John. Yeah, it is. Bob Tucker. That's Graham Poole in the background. I'm not sure. And that's the Pardo's in the front. Yeah, okay. Right now, okay, that's Mike, Gene Frost, Daryl Pardo, and I don't know who that is. I think that's Gil Gaia. Right, okay. Now, this is interesting because this is a photograph taken by Mike, and he had labeled it Unknown American. No, this is actually Murph Adamson, who was the flash in the pan guy where he came along and he was, oh, it's the future of fandom, and then he was gone within a year. So there you go. Back going. Oh, okay. Sorry, we were there. Okay, yeah. No, Gene Frost, the former Kevin, yeah, and the moles, indeed, yeah. Aha. Now, you can identify these guys. Clearly, All right. There it is. Clearly, we're not getting any takers, so perhaps not. No, Andy Potter was big even back then. Okay, next. There's Ian Mole. Is that you, Suzel? And there's Joseph Nicholas. I don't, okay. Oh, they probably, right, yeah. Yeah, that was Ian Watson had suddenly discovered. Yeah, Ian Watson had suddenly discovered that while the gents were the gents, the ladies also had this kind of parlor as well as a, and so he went a powder room, and he brought groups in there and saying, "Look, did you know these existed?" And of course, the women all were going, "Yes." So, yeah. So then there was an impromptu party in there afterwards. Was he? He was still discovering it 10 years later. Okay, next. Gil Geyer, and who's that? Anybody? Anybody know? Look, it's annoying when they look vaguely familiar, but you just can't place the name. Okay. I have no idea. Did somebody just say Stieg Larsson? That seems a bit unlikely. He might have been, yeah. No, he wasn't. Because in 1980, he was the head of the Swedish version of the BSFA. So, yeah. Next. There's Mr. Mirror again, Gene Frost. No idea who that is. No idea who they are. Dave Piper? Yeah. Yeah, that's Mike. That's clearly Glixton in the background. Yeah, but who's? Yeah, okay. Yeah, back that way, and that's Dave Piper apparently. Okay. Dave Piper was one of those fans who was really well known in America, but seemed to be less well known over here. Which I'll take your word for it, because even though I was in British fandom, then I never ever met him, and he was a British fan. So, yeah. Because again, I say he's one of those fans who, for whatever reason, he spent more time hanging out with the Americans than the Brits. So.
There's at least a dozen Brits who go to American Worldcons routinely, but not British ones.
Yeah.
No links in British fandom at all.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Okay. Next. I yes, that does look like a Hitler salute. Yes, this is the right wing meeting. No, who is that? There's Brosnan in the background. Roy Kettle, I think, top of his head. That's Christopher Priest. Oh, of course, it's Roy Kettle sucking up to Christopher Priest again. So yeah. Jack Choker. Terry Hughes. Yep.
I got a great
Taken
Terry Hughes story.
where
After the
you go?
con, he came to visit us, the Gannets up in Newcastle, and I want to see the Roman wall, he said. So we drove him out to the Hadrian's Wall, and it was pissing down, and he didn't have a coat. But in the boot of the car, I had an old lab coat, so we put that on, and he didn't have a hat. So, but I had a box of the Omni Seacon 79 plastic bags in the boot. So he created a hat out of one of them. And somewhere there's a photograph of him standing on the Roman wall, staring north in a lab coat and an Omni plastic bag.
Well, taken from us far too soon. That's Graham Poole and somebody. Who is the woman? Sorry. Possibly, yeah. Oh, is it really? Doesn't look like it. Then. Okay, if you say so. I mean, then I knew her when she was older. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next. Yes, Dave Rowe and Bob Day, who people always thought kind of looked like they could be brothers. Yeah. I think it's the teeth. Yes. Terry, Mike, and Boyd Raybon. Yes, Boyd Raybon. Yep, absolutely. Dave Piper. That's Phil Folio on, yeah, Phil Folio and Glickson. Yeah, Eli, Dave Piper, and Mike again. Again, is that Susan Wood, Terry, Mike Glickson, and who's that in the middle? Oh, yeah. But who dat? Yeah, these days photographs are so good you can zoom right in and get deep. Old ones, forget it. Yeah, he looks well. Ah, is is that Phil Folio again? Because it doesn't quite look like the other pictures. No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, it's not Dan Stefan. Okay, next. Ah, that's yeah, Jan Howard Finder. Yeah, that's right. And who's the woman? Anybody know who the woman is? No. Okay. Next. Yes, starting a long tradition. However, this is the pre-graffiti period where we didn't actually write all over Joseph. He was allowed to slumber peacefully. So yeah. Jim, yeah, and no idea who that is. Is that actually a dildo or is somebody holding something else? Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I hope so as well. Next. I'm noticing a theme here. Again, Jim Barker again. Next. Is that Dave Piper again? Okay. Ah, no, yes. This is the picture Kaz asked me about beforehand. She said, "Do you have a picture of me sliding down the stairs on a tray in my red dress?" I said, "Yes, Kaz, I do." This is that photo. This woman is now a great grandmother. So there you go. Glad to hear it. However, that wasn't the end of it. You'll see them in the next picture, I think, how this all ended. There you go. There you go. And people say dignity is dead. Paul Kincaid, and is that Joseph? Oh, and it's Kaz again. So what are you doing, Joseph? Yeah, what were you doing? Indeed. Suddenly, an old scandal comes to light. Exactly. Yeah. It's all looking a bit suspicious, though. So, yes. Next. There's Eli again. Yeah, Jim and Dave. Oh, zoom up. Art Widner. The great Art Widner. I think, is that Rob Jack? I know it's obviously Rob Jackson. Is that but Tucker you're talking to? Yeah. And who's the woman on the end? Any idea? Anybody? Oh, right. Oh, it's Coral. Okay. Now a group shot, but who knows? Anybody recognize anybody in it?
Pam Wells,
That's not Pam Wells. Yeah, Pam came along in the 80s.
Yes, Holstock at the back. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. So it is hole stuck in the back. Yeah. Next. Again, that's the same photograph, same photograph. Ah, Steve Higgins. This is a deceptive photograph in that it looks like he has dark hair. Steve has been gray haired since he was a teenager. So unless he started dyeing it, I don't know. Terry Carr. Sorry, what? Can you go back to the Steve Higgins photo, please? We have a request. We have zoom up. Given that his hair is grey, it can't look that dark in a photo. He has to have dyed it, surely. Okay, next. Terry, next. Ah, no, whoa, back, and zoom. Yeah, so there's, again, Terry and Peter. They were actually kind of big fans of each other back then. I recall they kept bigging up each other's fanzines. Yeah, okay, stay there long enough to photograph it. Yep. I have them all on a stick if you want copies. Next. That's obviously Don West, but who's he talking to? Anybody, any idea? It's not Chris Priest. Really? Doesn't look like a Leeds person to me. All right, not that there's a look for a Leeds person, but I mean, it doesn't like one of them. It doesn't look like one of them I can remember yet. Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, I can see why you're thinking that, but I don't think it is Alan Dory. No. Next. Yep. Next. Oh, that was the last of the. Okay. Are we doing time? Are we doing time wise? Okay. What's next on the list? Oh, the cricket. We have to go to the cricket. Really? Now, for those of you who weren't there, we had a cricket match on Brighton Beach. For those of you who don't know Brighton Beach is a pebble beach. So this was somewhat unusual as far as cricket goes, because as you know, in cricket, you have to bounce the ball. On a pebble beach, this had somewhat unpredictable effects, shall we say. Right, okay, go to whatever the first one was. There's Peter. There's Kevin Williams, Peter, okay. Sorry, Kev Smith. What did I say? Yeah, Kev Smith. Next. Oh, that's just below. That's Di Price, just below. Yeah. Okay, next. Again, Peter. That's Tony Edwards. Is that right? Right. Okay. Yep. And I should know who that is over there, but I don't. Okay, next. Again, Kev. And that's Joyce. And that's Di Price. Possibly. But as I say, we've got Di Price. We've got, yeah, okay.
Roy thinks it's Mike
Next.
Dickinson.
Di Price again. And is that Peter Maybe? And that's obviously
That's Peter Maybe, yeah.
Peter Maybe.
Do you know he only died recently?
He did indeed, yeah.
101, wasn't he?
No, he didn't make 100, sadly.
Oh, didn't he?
No,
Oh, I thought he did.
98. Yeah. I think, however, he may be the oldest any British fan has ever got. Okay, next.
There's a great photo of Tynecon, and he's with all the young with Chris Priest and Ken Campbell and that. It's in Inca.
Oh, okay. Again, that's Peter, and who's that? The woman there facing us. Anybody any idea? Peter Roberts isn't the woman facing us. That's. Yeah. Okay, next. Anybody we recognize in that? Is that Tom Shippey over there? Okay, next. That doesn't show much of anything. Okay, next. Nor does that. But it does show that there were a lot of people who went out there to watch the cricket as well. I don't know whether they went to laugh or to cheer. Who knows? Yep. Catching a ball, looking more dynamic than almost anybody. Next. And again. Next. No. There's Peter Weston with the bat. But who's that with his back to us? That looks almost like Terry Carr, but I don't think it is. That's obviously, again, you can see Glickson in front of him, and I think that's Don West behind him. Quite possibly. Next. Who is that batting? No idea. Very. Not a pose you see in real cricket. Okay. Could you move across? Oh really? Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. Scroll the picture across. No, the other way. Where? Oh, right. Okay. Okay, could you move the photograph back that way, please, Tommy? Let's have a look. Who else we got? Glickson. Okay, next. Somebody playing in trunks, which not exactly approved MCC attire. And that's, yeah, Joyce at the bat. Okay, next. Again, that dynamic shot. Next. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Scroll forward again. There's Peter and I don't know who that is in the suit. Next. Yeah, and somebody in trunks again still. Any regular? Is that Paul Oldroyd in the trunks? Oh, God, no. Back in Zoom. Okay, we got in the background there. Okay. In the background, we've got Harry Bell behind Pete Weston. That's Alan Harris watching as well, I think, behind Tom Shippey. Yeah, Peter maybe. Okay, and some guy with a hairy chest. Okay, next. Oh, we've seen that one. Okay, next. And we've seen that one next. Now, there's Alan Dory. Yeah, good action. Anybody recognize the guys in the background? Who's that in the front? Is that Bobby Wilde in the front foreground? Move it back that way a bit. Or Bobby Gray as she was then. That certainly looks like her. Oh, okay. Next. Now, in the background there, we have the pre-transition Ros Caveney. There. Yep. Because it was immediately after the con that she transitioned. Because Langford reported it in the first Ansible. He had a list of things that people had done and it ended with. Yeah. And there's Mike Dickinson, a good shot of him. Is that Anne McCaffrey at bat? That can't be right. Okay, next. Again, Joyce at the bat. Yep. Alan Harris and Harry Bell at the back. Next. Mr. Weston. Next. I think that's Jean, what's her name? Jean Frost, yeah. Somebody had to end up in the water. It was inevitable. Yes. All hoping to catch the ball. I don't know whether any of them did. I don't actually remember the result of this. Does anybody remember who won? Or does anybody remember? Well, it was Britain versus the rest of the world, wasn't it? But I remember that who the teams were, but not who won. Next. I don't think it mattered much. Next. And go back to the index again and what we got, because we're coming up to the end time anyway. So it was fan room. What's that? Dance, Hugo. Yeah. How much longer have we got before we got to finish? Because we can kind of zoom through these. Minus 10 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, well, all right. We just go carry on zooming through the photographs. So the next one was the fan room, allegedly. Right. Not a lot of photographs, but yeah, let's go through those. Okay. I mean, the final one is the masquerade, which we won't bother with. Okay. Right. Ah, John Harvey. There's Leroy. There's Malcolm, and there's Peter. I've no idea what Aki was, but okay. And another fan room panel. Ken Bulmer, Tucker, Roberts, and Slater. Okay. Oh, that's Mr. Code. Is it not? That's Rich Code and Gil Geyer and Joyce. Yeah, but who's that in the front there? Okay, next. Which mean the same one we didn't recognize before. There's been loads we didn't recognize. Now, clearly that's Arthur Crittenden in the background, but who's that in the foreground? Again, a familiar face, but this ought to be called Old People Quiz. We're all going, the name. Next. Peter and Joseph Nicholas. Oh, Graham England. That's who the second from left is. No, that's not Graham England. The guy stood up the glass. That's Graham England. Yeah. Don't know who the others are.
Jerbish.
Is it? No, that's not Jerbish. Don't know who that is.
Martin Easterbrook.
Possibly Easterbrook, yeah. Okay. Next. Again. There's Suzel, Rich, Gilguy, and Joyce. Oh, it's Frank Denton, is it? Okay, I stand corrected. All right, I sit corrected. Yeah, and on the end, of course, there's Eve Harvey, who sadly we lost a few years ago. Now, Bulmer, who seems to have his arm in a sling. I don't remember that. I think. Right, I think, yeah, obviously Tucker, Roberts, and Ken Slater. Same again. Oh, that's Bill Rotzler. And that's Alexis Gilliland. And oh, this is clearly a fan artist panel, yeah. No, that's Jim Barker. No, going along, that's Rotzler, Bell, Gilliland, what's his name? Folio, and Jim Barker. So it is definitely a fan artist panel. Now, yeah, we've got Eric Bentcliffe. There's Terry Carr, and there's Roberts, and there's Bob Shaw. Next. Okay, back to the index. What we got left? There's the dance, the Hugo, and the Gopher. Oh, we gotta go to the Gopher party. Let's ignore the Hugos, because I mean that's the Hugos. But here's the right. This was the invite to the Gopher party. And then right. Her name was Kathy something, the belly dancer. I forgot what her name was. But back when they went to for the bidding session at the 77 Seacon, she was also belly dancing there as well, which is probably where Peter Weston, I'm sure it was him, roped her into it. Kathy, what, sorry? Sanders.
Sanders.
Kathy Sanders, yeah. Or Saunders, one of the. It was the 70s. We all wore flares. No idea. But yeah, Kathy Sanders was the name. I remember that, yeah.
The names Drew and Kathy Sanders come to mind.
And in the background, you can see all manner of reprobates. Yeah, that's Rog Payton. Yeah, there's Peter Weston. Of course, there's Peter Weston there. It was his idea. And there's Brian, is it not? Brian Ameringham? Phil Folio, Peter, Kathy, and Rog Payton. And I don't know who that is between them. Next. Again, Kathy. And again, who have we got in the background? Brian Aldis. Oh, Ian Moore, yes. There's obviously Harry Bell, Jim Burker, Tim Stannard. I don't know who the chap with the moustache is, but he looks European. Sam Lundwell. I said he looked European. So there you go. Next. And again, some slightly disapproving women. They don't look like they're totally on board with this. So yeah. Yep. Next. And again, Harry Bell's asleep.
It's Martin Tudor on the far left. I think it's the first one we've seen of him.
Yes, it is Martin Shooter, yeah. All again. Okay, next. And again, the audience. Is that Fritz Lieber there or not?
Yeah.
Okay, next. Yeah, considering it was the Gopher party, we had quite a few pros show up as well.
Yeah, Sturgeon was there as well, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
there he is. Yeah.
There he is. Yeah. Rich Code up in the back, more. Okay, next. I don't see any new faces there. Okay, next. Oh yes, Peter giving a speech about something or other. But then Peter
I
was
can
going to
tell
give
you what the
speeches.
speech was about.
Okay, what was it about?
He says, in these suitcases against the wall, there are lots of containers of liquid. Your job is to empty all the containers by some means and build a rope ladder to cans to the moon. I can't remember what it's called now. Tower of beer cans to the moon.
We have a photo, which we'll get to. Yeah. Oh, Wanda McIntyre, yeah. So it is. Is that Dave Garnett above her or not? Looks like it could be. Okay. Next. Okay. Next. Next. Yep, Brian Ameringham over. Yep. Yeah, we got Paul Kincaid, Brian Ameringham, and the people we've already identified. Okay, next. Ah, the Tower of Beer Cans to the Moon. Yes.
The hotel are really pissed off with us for that because we smuggled it all in huge suitcases.
That's right. Oh, I try to find Peter's. Yes, Peter, as you say, Peter had to sort that out with the hotel. That was because Peter Weston said that he said it went like a breeze, the convention. He was kind of the he was the guy in charge, and he kept saying to people, "Do you need me?" And they go, "No, no." He said it just sailed through there. He said there were only twice that he had to have a word with the management. One was when they tried to shut down a party, you know, and the other one was later about the, you know, the, as you say, Tower of Cans, and that he said, "Well, no idea, don't know where they came from." Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a quite impressive tower, except that impressive to us, not so impressive to the hotel staff who had to dispose of it. But yeah.
The Gopher group were fantastic. They were mostly American fans, and they were really great.
Right.
Really helpful, yeah.
Do you recognize any of those people or not?
They were all Gophers.
Right. Yeah. That- on the far left, is that Swedish fan, Anders Bellis, or not? Okay. It could be because he doesn't have hair anymore and he looks more crazed these days, but okay, next. Again, next. Yeah, back to the belly dancing. But again, if you just no, we got Mr. Charnock in the background and 3 Star Troopers. Two stormtroopers, yeah. Yeah. And somebody yeah, crossing the streams, there's somebody from Star Trek as well. So we got Star Trek and Star Wars. That's not all that's SF miscegenation. You're not allowed to do that. Next. Oh. Yeah. Oh, we've seen that photograph before, obviously. Yeah. Right, now, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know who any of these people are.
All golfers.
Anybody? No. Okay, next. Yeah, next. And that's that. Okay, list again. And we forget about the masquerade, we forget about the Hugos. Let's just do the dance. We'll finish with that. Because that's only a handful of shots. Okay, zoom in, and we've got various people. It's the dance, but I can't identify any of them, I don't think. Various people dancing. Okay, next one. Oh, that's the banquet. Yeah, okay. People wearing strange clothes. Why would you wear that at a banquet? That's a cost. Okay, next. More banquet. Is that Somtosh Sucharotsing? Whatever his name is there? Okay. Next. No. That's a Roger Payton dancing with Helen Ealing. He always used to do the same dance, so he never ever updated it. So it was always that kind of, from the late 50s. So everybody else is doing 60s, 70s, not Rog. No. Next. Various people dancing again. Oh, there's what's her name? Pat Charnock in the jumpsuit in the background. See? That's Pat Charnock. That's it. Yeah, that's Pat Charnock. It's definitely Pat Charnock. Okay. All right. Next. Aha. Now, there's Kate Solomon. Well, given what she wore in the masquerade, that's conservative. So yeah. Next. And there's Rog Payton again in the up to the minute dance. And there's Pat Charnock. Yep. Really? Why? Is that one of yours? Oh, right. Why does she hate it? That's a good picture. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Next. And again, that's Helen and Rog Payton dancing. And there we go. Cheers up. I won't subject you to the masquerade photos because there's loads of them and who cares? It's the masquerade. So, okay. Cheers.
There is just one final thing on it.
Yep.
I mentioned it earlier. There was a Thames Television 30-minute documentary filmed at it. It's called Time Out of Mind, which we've got digitized somewhere. I've got a copy. I think you got one, Rob, there. Is it on YouTube? Oh, great. Maybe we should send the link around. I was going to suggest doing something like that. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Cheers. It's no, there are photographs.